Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Hoven of Ramos Law and your host of Health Matters. Today, I want to share with you a concept that's really important for you to understand about training after injury. When should you start, and why is it important that you know when you start? So stay tuned, get ready, because this is going to be good. If you've ever seen an athlete on TV get hurt, whether it's in football, basketball, any of the major sports, or even minor sport, you got to wonder, when do they come back after the injury? Well, guess what? They have a whole team of trainers, doctors, all of these people in their corner to help them know exactly what kind of movement routines or regimens they can do and when. But for the rest of us that don't have that kind of support, what are we supposed to do after getting hurt? That injury could come from anything from a slip and fall, to a car accident, to a sport injury, to a postural injury that just happens where we wake up with pain one night. Whatever it is, we should know that there's a point in time where we don't want to do much exercise, and then a point in time where we want to start doing some, and then when we graduate to doing more and more exercises. And by exercises, I mean basic movement. So there can be specific exercises for specific body parts, but in general, what I'm talking about here is moving the body. So when you do not want to do exercise is when you have extensive damage and swelling to the tissues of the injured body part. For example, if you twisted your knee, and when you look at your knee, it's very swollen, it's very irritated, you have a hard time putting weight on it, that is not the time for you to go into full body squats to introduce full range of motion. Instead, that's the time where first thing, always make sure you go get an evaluation and make sure that you know exactly what's going on in the knee. And then from there, it's very slow, steady, small range of motions in that knee or in that joint that's going to just increase the neurological firing and increase circulation back to the joint to help push junk out, metabolites out, and bring blood in. Now on the other side, if an injury is older and if you have less swelling, no bruising, and pretty decent range of motion, even up to limited to about 50%, now we can start stressing that range of motion a little bit, where we want to move that joint through its natural range of motion up until the point of pain. So in other words, if I injure my elbow and it hurts for me to take my elbow to here, I don't want to take it to here, but I do want to take it inside the pain-free range of motion. So that's where we could start implementing motion and not a lot of resistance at this time. This is not a time for us to, again, be trying to strengthen. We're trying to increase mobility. And by doing more joint mobilization, we're going to get a pattern sent from the hand up to the brain of saying, hey, nerves, what's going on out here? And the brain's going to help us in that healing process of knowing how far we can take it. And you'll be surprised that after doing this for a few times, pretty soon, you'll notice that you might be able to take it farther where at the very beginning of the session, it hurt. So when it comes to a moderate injury versus a severe injury, we want to start pushing the boundaries a little bit. In the case of an injury that's chronic, it's been there for a month or more and it's not severe, it's just kind of one of those nagging things. Now we want to really start looking at doing not only flexibility and nerve stimulation, so stretching, let's say our back, we want to stretch our back, we want to stretch our glutes, we want to stretch our hamstrings and quads. We want to do all that, and we're going to take it to inside the pain-free range, but we're also going to stress it so that we're not causing pain, but we're causing tension. In addition to that, we're going to include strengthening exercises at this point that are more aggressive. So instead of very limited, slow strengthening stuff, we'll get a little bit more ballistic, where we're actually going to be now doing a little more speed type or a little more weight and resistance in order to get that muscle to fire in a proper way. Now, when it comes to this is where you want to start having therapists or people who are trained guide you on exactly the best exercises, especially depending on the joint that is injured, because the more complex the joint, the more complex some of the movements can get. So you just don't want to guess and be doing something that's strengthening in an improper movement pattern or even causing you potential for further injury. So at that point, it's always good when you're looking for specific exercises to deal with specialists who know what they're doing and can help you, by the way, determine if you're in a phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3 that we talked about. Are you in acute or serious injury? Are you in kind of a subacute or possibly also a mild to moderate injury? Or are you in a chronic and just kind of a long-term pain and dysfunction issue? Knowing where you're at is the key to knowing which exercises to do. So I know that there's a lot there. You might have questions. If so, please email me. My email is jim@ramoslaw.com, and I'll do my best to answer the questions for you and or turn you on to some people that can help you as a provider in your area. Also, if you'd be so kind as to share this information with anyone that you think might benefit, I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching today, and always remember, your health matters.